And we're live talking about Portal.
Yeah, having fun. And I think this is everyone. Yeah, we're now 25 minutes past the hour or so. So we definitely, any late stragglers will have to just pick up where, yeah.
Do we want to talk about anything in the Clojure ecosystem before we go into Portal directly?
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that comes to mind?
I know that there's been new releases of CLJ Condo and Babashka. There's been, I mean, just continually improve.
Yeah.
I think one of the ones that I just saw was a linter to check to make sure that the namespace matches the file name. So, you know, things that you wouldn't ordinarily worry about, but it's bitten me a couple of times by, you know, have the dash instead of the underscore, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't know that they got that implemented.
Yeah, I think it's really new, so I don't know. Yeah, I might be disabled by default too.
Yeah.
But I have also started using the Clojure LSP in Vim, and really liking all the refactorings and stuff. I just added a mapping today for, there's a sort map literal action, so it'll sort all the keys. Yeah, it's just cool that it's like that they're still, you know, making new things and everything. So, and also it has all the CLJ Condo stuff in it too, so it's pretty cool. Sometimes I have fighting linters, you know, they double report on the same line, but
it's
sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what I really like about Clojure LSP and CLJ Condo is they work across dialects of lists or Clojure effortlessly. Like if you have a Clojure script file, Clojure LSP is like, that's fine, that's whatever. Whereas sometimes the more dynamic tooling doesn't, which makes me sad. But these tools like pick up the slack pretty easily. So I think it like which is the cursive approach, I would say, right? That's kind of how cursive is structured. A lot of it is static analysis first, right?
Kentucky homeowners.
Sorry, I clicked a link in the Clojure dref, and I didn't realize it was a video. My bad. Go ahead.
I didn't. This is not directly related to the Clojure ecosystem, but I've recently I've been looking more into LibPython CLJ, the link between Clojure and Python, and the Python packaging is this complete nightmare as far as I can tell. I just have not been. I've spent almost literally a week trying to get something which should be, you know, download it and run it kind of thing. It's just nuts. I can't believe people are actually using it.
Yeah, it's one of the things that keeps me up at night. Like I tried libpython CLJ and I tried some of the Panda libraries, right? Like, you know, things that keep me up at night. Like if I ever lose my Python virtual environment, like I don't know how to recreate. Like that's it. Anaconda, like, you know, it's like once it's set up and it works, I can't reproduce it. Like I don't know what packages I installed in what order. It's like,
yeah, for sure. There have been tools I really want to use, and then I see pip install, and I'm like, nope.
I mean, the fundamentals are sound because that's the only way to get to the C runtime, like, you know, through Python, but like the packaging system is something else, especially when you're trying to do machine learning. Like it's just a mess. Get this Anaconda set up. If it works, great. And you can't lose that drive ever because, you know, you spent a week. You've just drowned a week there.
Just tar it up, archive it somewhere on S3 or something.
Basically. And then, you know, and the thing is, because libpython.clj also relies on your local Python install. So you have to do it inside a virtual env and they just capture everything. Like it's just, you know, because it takes into like the C runtime libraries and it does all sorts of stuff. So it's just messy. Like I was trying to play with MXNet, and I didn't want to use the Clojure version because it wasn't fast enough, or rather it wasn't, keeping up with the live, like the Python one was like closest, like it was being developed while the other, languages were behind. So I wanted to use the Python version, but then MXNet, makes all these native calls. So it's like, it into C runtime hell. And then I finally got it set up, and then I lost my machine. So
Actually, I had a sort of similar thing where I had it working about a few months ago, and I had to stop doing that. And I came back to it and I thought, oh, there was some new library, so let me update it. That was a huge mistake. And I'm still not back to where I was. So, but it's, yeah. Anyway.
Makes you appreciate the Maven ecosystem, and I mean, for any of its cruft, we do get relatively reliable installs. Just a big, single directory in your home directory that's got, gigabytes of data that you can't.
Yeah, but right, but even in all these things, I mean, I'm not by any chance an expert on this, but the way I understand it in the Python ecosystem, you can only have one version of a library. That I think, and that's like the fundamental problem, really. You can just have one version, so you have to find out the maximum version that will satisfy all your dependency needs.
Strikes me as a hard programming problem.
Well, and sometimes you can't,
Impossible.
which is where I am currently.
Oh
Anyway.
man. I know that Clojure 111 is ever inching closer to release. It's an RC1, I think now. So,
yeah, I've been using it and getting all sorts of warnings about parse long or was it update valves?
Update valves,
yeah.
Something inside of Cider or something, right? Yeah.
All over the place, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I actually did a PR at work that had update valves in it, and everyone had to upgrade their Babashka because Babashka already has all those functions. But
I had the same issue with random-UUID because Clojure script had it, and I added it so that my Clojure and my Clojure script were the same, but then Clojure proper has it now, so I have to exclude it because I want to support older versions of Clojure too. So,
oh, you can't use the new toy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because like as a library, I want to be compatible with more if I can.
No, that makes sense. I wonder. I ran into a couple issues with random UUID or parse UUID. Like, I have a string and I use parse UUID, and so it gives me a UID. I mean, of course, if it's valid, but then I can't take that and parse UID. Like I can't keep running parse UID on it. So I've got to make sure that anytime I have a UID I get from outside, like over a web API, that I only make it a UID once. Because if I ever in my API or my code ever try to do that again, it's like, it throws an exception. I think it would be, I don't know. Strikes me as like, it'd be nice if it was just like, you could just like parse UID like 4 or 5 times. And it would just be like, oh, it's already UID, and just pass it through, Any other new Clojure things?
One thing that I thought was a really nice thing, there's a thing called tryclojure.org now, which is a very small intro to Clojure. And then, I mean, it doesn't last too long, but then it goes off to Clojure Quants and so on. But the fact that there is something that you can point people at, which is you don't have to install anything, you just go and type. That's good.
It's one where it's kind of like a game. You like have to enter this certain thing and to get to the next step or whatever. And
yeah, but it's not so much of a game. It's just a straightforward,
cool.
Open paren +1 +1 to close paren kind of thing.
But it's an easy game.
Yeah.
It's a walkthrough. That's cool.
But the good thing is you don't install anything, so then you can just go with it. So
Yeah, definitely. I think that's good. Like the next journal or what's the other one? There was Maria.
Clark.
Yeah. Yeah, Clerk's been getting some good, cool releases.
Yeah.
They actually have a facility for making form elements that you can actually make interactivity with.
Oh.
And so you can it's not just about a static web page. You can actually make it interact with, I don't know if with the original Clojure runtime or with JavaScript, like because you could render it out. So I don't know how that all works, but there's some pretty cool demos that I saw like last week. They released a new version.
Yeah, I'm probably going to use it for my next iCloj talk, Clerk. Same workshop I ran earlier for the reclosure. They want to do a redo. So I'm moving everything to Clerk now.
Very cool. Cool. So shall we take a look at the portal? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I looked at it a little bit, but I couldn't. There wasn't like a tutorial or something that I could start off with on the Git repo. Or did you look at something there?
I looked at it a little bit. Like there's we can just probably run through the README. And,
okay.
that would probably give us enough to start working on it. To start talking about it.
Yeah.
Would you like to share? Or I can share. Try. How's that? All right, so here's Portal. A Clojure tool to navigate through your data. Yeah. The Portal UI can be used to inspect values of various shapes and sizes. The UX will probably evolve over time, and user feedback is welcome. Cool. Ooh, UX concepts. Okay, cool. We'll have to come back to that. Demo. Should we just watch this video? No, just kidding. So I have a Clojure, like my editor over here with just Portal installed. It's the right, I think it's the last version. Yeah, 21.2. And so I figure we can just run through these. What we can try the Portal API with the following commands. So let me start up a Clojure REPL. Portal Meetup.
Is this new Windows? Is this Windows 11? This is like a side question.
Oh yeah, this is Windows 11.
Oh, okay. It looks different.
I was gifted it, and I could not refuse. So, yeah. Okay, so Portal. So if we connect, let me say we go require. for web, you might need to enable pop-ups for the portal UI to work in the browser. I assume would this be for if you're in Clojure script?
Yeah, if you're in Clojure script. I guess yeah,
Gotcha.
I'll put that down as a note to be very explicit.
So we open portal with sorry, my day job is with a Mac, and I'm back on my Windows computer here, so. All right, we have a portal. Extension installed, oh, I see. If you do this without, I wonder if it happens if I just do this. If it'll.
It'll probably do nothing.
Yeah, looks like it's just the one portal we all have. Yeah.
Yeah. You may have redefined P though, so just FYI.
Well, let me put it back then. Oh, do I now have two portals? I
Yeah.
do. Feels like the reveal meetup from a couple weeks ago, where you can like right click on something and keep popping up new inspectors till you eventually have so many. Okay, so well, now we have two. What happens when we do it? I think, yeah, let's go. Add portal is a tap target. Let's see, can I get to both of the windows or just the one? Oh, look at that. Huh. Okay, so tap works. So I wonder if I do what I did last time, which is tap all else. There we go. Give us some data to think about. Looks like it's kind of lazy. As you scroll down, I could see a little loading things. That's kind of cool.
You should be able to datafy it as well.
Oh yeah, datafy by, no, not right click. Is there a, let's see. What was how do you datafy?
Oh, so the bottom right is an interesting place.
This thing here? Ah, look at that. Oh, wow. Okay. Can you bring that up with a key command?
Yeah, which one do you think it is?
Well, I would hope it'd be something like, no, not spacebar. Escape? Nope.
It's probably more comfortable for VS Code users.
Oh, some big coordinate thing? No, just kidding.
It's Control-Shift-P. Well, because you're on Windows, so I think it should be Control-Shift-P.
There we go. Okay. Let's see if I can get that in my muscle memory. Control-Shift-P. So I bet I gotta select something first. Control-Shift-P. Oh, wow, look at that. I have not done much datafication or nabbing or anything like that, so. There's all the imports. What did we actually grab? Oh, just like last time, I picked a really bad example. Here, let's do Clojure set instead.
Yeah, I will say that I don't tend to datafy very often because I tend to already have data. So this is just one of those things where like if you do need it, it's there, but I tend to just have data.
Interesting.
Yeah, because right, I don't think vars have nav defined. One of the things I prefer actually using is select keys. Oh, there's another shortcut, Control J. Because Command Shift P doesn't work for Firefox users, so there's 2 shortcuts for it.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, I can even reach that with one hand. You said select keys.
Yeah.
Returns a map containing all the entries that are in keys. Oh, very nice. J and K don't work in here. That would be nice.
Oh, you're right. You know what? You're right. Why don't they? Because they work elsewhere. Oh God, that's a good call out.
So if I did like that. Oh, I like that a lot. That's really cool. Because in Reveal, there's like that the little command bar, and you can type whatever function you want in there and put *V wherever you want that to be, so you can run arbitrary things.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have like things at hand, especially fuzzy matched.
Yeah, I will say
Big
that
fan of the
*V
fuzzy
doesn't
match.
work in this command palette. Like it's not a place where you can eval.
Gotcha. Oh, I like this a lot. This reminds me a lot of VS Code. When I have looked over people's shoulders as they've used VS Code, and I asked them to do something, and they're like, I don't know. I was like, well, just start typing it in the command bar, and then it'll have the key command for you. Like it's a really cool way of learning what is possible.
I can't believe I don't have HJK on the command prompt. You're right. I think it's because I probably don't search. I just filter for exactly what I want. But that's dang missed opportunity. So that'll probably happen soon.
I guess I can do. Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah. I think not all the functions, because I just put the ones that I thought would be interesting. Like dissociate is kind of interesting, right? Because it's exactly what you think it does.
Can I do table? Can I do this? Can I view this in a table or oh, way down here? Oh, tree. I guess this might not be table worthy.
Wait, the top most value might be. Try again.
Oops.
You should be able to click anywhere on it, by the way. Except
Oh,
for
I see.
yeah, like
Except
like,
for inside something else.
exactly. Yeah.
ePrint.
I think it either has to be like a map of maps, which it looks like it is a map of maps. Oh, but not everything is okay. That's why.
It's not
Everything
a
has to
collection of
be-
maps though. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if you dissociate the name, it probably will let you put it in a table.
Let's see if I can do that. So
Did that work? I don't know if you dissociated. I think you
I did not.
I think you have to press space to select.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, now it's gone. Table. Not a terribly useful table, but
How do you do the thing where you
wow.
where you like I don't know what that's called.
You pivot.
Well, yeah.
You what is the mate like a math thing matrix? It like a
Transpose.
sure. Um,
It's
Cool.
interesting that some of them aren't showing up. But yeah, if you select the topmost value, there's a command called transpose, I think, that you should be able to use. Right now you've selected the key. You probably want the value. I usually click the top left corner to get the whole
Okay.
table.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So you have now you have a new value though.
So this did gotcha. This did that what you said the transpose.
Yeah, it did the data transformation, right?
Well, that's really cool.
And then now you can put this guy in a table. And he probably is a much taller table.
Oh, interesting. So interns and publics. So it wasn't both of those. So it is somewhat useful at the table.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can do Command plus, or sorry, Control plus to zoom in if you'd like, because it's just a web browser. So all the
Oh, yeah.
browsers should work.
Actually, I remember that from the reveal stuff last time was we had to start off with a different property to get a bigger font.
I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I'm telling you all the like secrets, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, let's do some. Let's see here. Let's see if we can make it so we can. My window management foo is not nearly as strong as it is in on my Mac, so I'll have to.
Yeah, I know that pain.
No, come on. I am able to keep Windows on top much easier, so this will work. Okay, so we got good old tap hello. If I can paste correctly. Well, where'd that show up? Show up on the other roll window. So let's see, I wonder if, did it show up here, down here too? I just can't see it because I'm zoomed in. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, so that might be a usefulness to having multiple portal windows so you can kind of diverge your exploration. Sorry, my window management is not doing very well right now. P clear. Okay, I'm just gonna type P clear. All right, cool. So that clears all of them. We tap something again. Bring the selected value back into the REPL. P. Just gonna close that one. So we only have one portal to worry about. Huh. If we did the all in S again, and we did What's that?
I wonder what the type of the thing that you have in the REPL is.
Whoa. That's very cool. I didn't notice that before. It's got the doc.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I did that. You're right. I have anything that has like a doc string, I'll put it on as a title on the element.
That's very cool. Let's see. Not Control P, Control J. There we go. Data if I select that. Huh. I can't remember if reveal. Do you remember if reveal allowed us to get the data back after we messed with it? Tyson, Durab?
No, I don't think so. That's really interesting that you can get at the selected value, but I don't. It might be able to do it, but I don't remember seeing that as we walked through.
Okay. Yeah, I usually whenever I want something from the reveal window, I just copy and paste it, like because I can just select it.
Yeah, and I think that works most of the time until you're dealing with like not serializable values. So that's where I asked you, like, if you call type of something that it isn't serializable, what do you get? So
I'm
like,
sorry, call
for
type
example, like click one of the vars, right? A var is like a runtime thing.
like is. I'm just gonna do that.
And then
all
what's
the
the,
time.
but like call type on the deref of it.
Oh,
So
up
like,
here.
yeah, in there. Does that make sense? I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. Oh, one sec. No.
We do like this. So that's a map because it's the whole thing. It's the data. It's not. It's just like the same benefit for tap. Like tap, it's the data. It's not just you're not printing it out. You know, and so therefore you can interact with it. It's going the other way. So it's the data again.
Yeah, I think this is very cool because you can be exploring and then you want to get at that you've like gotten, to some value somewhere. And then like Chris was saying, like rather than copying text, you just get right at the value of the thing. Very cool.
Like for instance, if we did tap tree seek is the one I want, right? No. File. Yeah, file seek's what I want. Now if I go like Java. So now I have, so these are all files. So I can't copy and paste this.
Mhm.
Oh, I got all my CLJ condo. Wow, there's lots of files. And like this. And now I can go and I get the file back, which means I can slurp it. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
So that's a good example of a non-serializable thing.
Yeah,
that
I
you
wonder
get
if you could do
back.
that from the command palette instead of the REPL. The J thing.
Oh, you mean do the slurp here? We'll look at that. I wonder if you can.
Wonder.
Golly.
Ooh, so now that you know what you can do with it.
Oh, come on. There's no Eden.
Oh, there is.
Read
It
string?
should be a function, but it's not right now. It's a viewer. So you have to set the viewer.
Oh, I see.
Which no, so that's
Ooh.
the boring way. Using that is the boring way. You can use the command. Well, you already did it. It's too late now. You'll never do the cool way.
Oh no, I'll get back there. Slurp. The cool way.
If you press V, which is in the command palette, you'll see it's select viewer. It'll do a pop-up select.
Okay. I am a huge fan of reasons to not use my mouse anymore. So
Yeah.
very cool. So now I can say tree.
You have to select the thing.
Okay, so how do I
so-
select it? Oh, there you go.
So
Sorry.
you went from like in your REPL, a file seek, to portal, to a file object, slurped it, and then wait, can you get back at this information in your REPL? I wonder. It's just data.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And like this is data, right? So select keys works, all the fun stuff that we were used to. I wonder if you can view part of it as a table instead of all of it.
Some of it is a table. Like the aliases. Nope.
So right now you have the keyword selected. You have to select the, it's usually harder in the tree viewer. If you click to the right, I think of the, yeah,
out this way.
I would just use the arrow keys to kind of navigate.
That one. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Oh man.
In line.
Yeah. So a theme that should be appearing is like what you have selected is important, right? That drives what you can get back into your REPL. That drives what viewer you're setting. That drives what you're filtering. Like watch if you type at the top, you see how it says type here to begin filtering. It'll filter based on what you have selected, not the whole value, because it's really hard to know what someone cares about when you have this big thing of data. So selection is really important.
So the filtering only happens on what's selected.
Yeah.
If I go back to the top and do aliases.
So the reason why I think I prefer it this way is because how would you compose filtering? Like you want to filter this level with this much, but then that level with that much. Like how would you do that? Right? You just like click, filter, click, filter.
I feel like you get to the point where like you have it the way you like it, and is there a way to like save that view and like use it again?
Not necessarily
have the same.
You can take the data and you just so like you said, copying is a way to get the data out. So there's a command for that. If you click on a value that you want to copy, there's a few things you can copy about it.
Oh, interesting. The path.
Well, here it's because you've selected the Eden viewer. It's more interesting if you select the non-root value.
Like this one right here.
You can see it at the bottom, right? It's like portal viewer, Eden, depths, DJ blue / portal, MVN / version.
Oh, interesting. Take this back to the tree. So it has the viewer at the beginning.
Yeah, and I think that's a quirk of the Eden guy being a viewer. It could just be a function that parses the thing and then dumps it, but instead I was like, I want to keep it in line. Because if you look, you're kind of in like a window that has two tabs. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
you've-
Because
So what did you
it's
do?
now both of those bits of data.
Yeah, it's like here's, well, the value is still the string, and you're kind of like looking at it as if it were Eden.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's why it's kind of weird. Still playing with the UX.
So like here, yeah, 0.
Yeah.
It's just there's no viewer in there because it's just the data. Ah. Okay. Very cool. Okay, now let's progress with the README. Portal will keep objects from being garbage collected until they're cleared from the UI. That makes sense. So if they're anywhere in the history, I'm guessing they're.
Yeah.
Yeah. Portal atom, in addition to getting the select value back in the REPL, the portal atom can also allow direct manipulation of portal history. Push the value A into portal history. Oh, empty.
Right. If you can deref, why can't you do the other thing?
Let's see. Reset. Oh wow, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, except for if you look at the history, it didn't, and this is maybe a quirk, but you didn't lose the value. It just kind of treated it like a push.
Oops. I want to reset it. Swap it.
Hey, a question. What would be some of the uses for manipulating the history like this? Have you found this to be handy, Chris?
I did early on, but there's a much better way to do things now. Because I wanted to like be able to interact, or not interact, but push, like put values into Portal like directly. But there was a recent change that I added, not, I guess kind of recent, where you can just hand atoms to the UI. And then you can just hammer on your own atoms instead, which I've like, that makes more sense, because usually the way that I'll use that is like I have an atom that stores our logs. And then internally I'll have like Timber and a Timber appender that'll append to it. And then I'll just, that value I'll open up. Does that make sense?
So then as you add to it, it adds new history?
Oh no, it won't add to the history. So like, I just want it to be like, I want it to be like a normal atom, whereas this like Portal atom is like a little different. Maybe it's not what I'm used to. Like, I guess what I'm saying, try tapping out an atom really quickly and see what happens. So now you gotta go that way, right? To go back
What's
to the
that
root.
again?
Oh, so the thing you're in on is like you've zoomed in to the value. You got to go back out.
Oh, here.
Yeah. So now try manipulating that atom really quickly.
Okay.
So go back real quick. So what you did is you selected the value for the map. If you look at the top right, there's like an @ right now. Double click that instead. And what you're running into here is it's really hard for me to describe visually the difference between a value and a reference to a value. So you have to like be very particular. And the reason why is that you usually you just want the value, you don't want the pointer, except for sometimes you do. And that's why there's like a map there to be like, this is the atom. And then if you click on the map, that's the map that the atom has.
Okay.
Right. And so when you click on the map, you're like dereffing the atom in a sense, right? Which is why
No,
you
that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
It totally makes sense. Yeah, you were looking at that one, and so I could be like, okay, now I want to take this version of it,
Yeah.
and not have the whole. Yeah, I wonder how do you do that? Because now I'm like looking at it. I guess I could just go back and be like, I want this instead, and that's the non-atom version.
Yeah. Or you could click on it, like watch, click on the atom and then Control J. And it's an atom, right? So it should be dereffable.
Yeah.
So all the things you know about Clojure should somehow maybe map into the UI somehow. I don't know.
So I'm guessing I can't deref here. So
Well, can you
there's
deref the file? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. There is some like.
So there's some like filtering.
Yeah.
It's only going to let you do what it thinks you or should be allowed to do.
Yes.
It's helping.
Exactly.
That's right. That's not felt a little overbearing, but I meant helpful. So then if I go swap or reset a
At A.
and then I can say here, this one is viewed as a table. Oops. This one is viewed as a table. So then I should be able to do oh.
Yeah. So this is one of the issues I had is that the atoms are a relatively new thing. And before data used to be static. So I was like, I used the data as like the way to determine the value of, or what viewer to use, right?
How, right.
Yeah, but because the value
Makes
changed,
sense.
I'm like, I don't have a viewer for this. So this is something I plan on fixing, but this is a relatively new problem.
But that particular thing, like being able to add something to a table, like it's like 99% of the way there. Like,
So-
and also to have to go back and remake it a table is not the end of the world. Like,
But
the
what
cool
if you
thing
did-
is I have a display, that constantly will update. That's very cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you. There is one trick or cheat. You can set the default value. Sorry, you can set the default viewer for a value
Ah, there you go.
independently of the UI.
Oh,
how
I'm
would-
guessing
whatever-
it's meta. I'm guessing this is metadata.
Yeah. Exactly.
But what metadata is it?
Yeah.
There you go. Interesting. It's just gonna. Oops. Let's see. We want table. There you go.
So
And because Conj maintains the metadata.
yeah, exactly. That I was gonna say that conj is good. It's a good. Not all
Yeah.
Clojure functions are good citizens, actually.
That unknown is what always makes me shy away from metadata.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, I
using
agree.
it pervasively because I'm
Yeah.
like, I know like Assoc and a lot of things are they are good, but yeah.
Yeah. So there's another thing I want to highlight too. Register is kind of interesting.
Commands. Predicate function. Oh, you rest your own commands.
Yeah, there's like a really useful function that you keep using ink Like, why isn't that a portal command? You should make it one.
I'm guessing I can just do what that is for identity. Oh,
What happened?
no, that's mine. That's me. That's me. Mac Windows
Yep. That
wires crossing in my head.
every time I can't copy paste when I go from one to the other. It's 2 now.
Wait, it was 2 before.
Oh, it was? Okay, wait, did you?
Oh, did I not?
Oh no, you're okay. I thought you clicked on 1.
Huh.
I think you have to select it. That's like the theme.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what it was. There, yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's really cool because that's like the easiest registration mechanism that I've ever seen on these inspectors.
Wait, do you see something that came up in the like command palette? There's documentation. I don't know if you saw that. And there's a reason why I asked for the var.
Yeah.
Because I can grab the metadata.
Oh, cool.
So if you have documentation.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Oh, I was like, where's the documentation for all the other ones? I see.
Yeah, I don't want to
reveal
overwhelm
it.
people, right? And like
You
as
don't want 1,000 lines. Oh, that's wise. Oh, kudos on the wrap though. That's good.
on the
do
wrap.
that. How you get to the bottom,
Oh,
it wraps
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Like
The
I have often
command
used
palette was
that.
fun to work on.
That's really cool.
I don't. Okay, so if you knew this, what would you want to be able to do next? Because I'm curious.
Well, I know how to clear. That's a command I use a lot in Portal, or in Reveal, where I'm like, I'm about to run my function that has a bunch of taps in it, and I like clear so that I can get all of the taps. But there's already p clear that we saw.
Oh, in the UI though, how would you clear?
Well, I assume it's a clear here. Yeah.
Do you see the keyboard shortcut though?
That would be hard for me to learn. I so love the filtering here.
Well, it should
Control
feel
L.
very
Of course it is. Of course it is. Control L.
That was
I
like
love
burned
it.
in my fingers. I don't know why.
What's that?
Oh, that Control L is burned in for like all the things. And I know that command part or that shortcut. I know I use it everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to be gained for using the metaphors that we already have. Like, don't go against them. Like JKL. Like.
Oh wait, did you try HJKL on the data?
Yeah, I was moving around in it before.
Oh, I thought you were using the arrow keys. No, you were using HJKL. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, dang it. It does both the arrow keys and also the HJKL.
Keep hitting the wrong key. Control J. Oh.
It probably threw an error and it was like, nope, I'm not gonna do anything with that. Right? Because you can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right. I was just wondering if it would show me a red screen of death or something like that.
I think you can get to the errors if you do like, there's a command called show client errors. I always forget about it, but it's there. Yeah, and invoke exception.
Oh, and of course it's tappable. Huh.
Right, because you tried to call it.
Oh, that's cool. And X, there's an exception viewer. That's very cool.
Yeah, one of the things that Clojure added datafication for were exceptions. So if you look at that, that's actually a Clojure map. So view the inspector for it. And this is a really interesting use case for spec, and that I have a spec for the datafications of exception, and I match that. I'm like, oh, this is an exception. Render it this way instead. So if you datafy your exceptions the same way that Clojure decided to datafy theirs, you can use the same
It'll
view.
show up the same way.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you use spec to decide what inspectors to use?
Not always.
Is that what you were saying? Not always. Okay.
Yes, not always. For some things, yes, like this, and a few of the other things like, you know, charts. They're very like easy to spec.
That's the exception I'm looking for. Oops. So I might put it back to this. I think exceptions more look more like this. I think it would be much happier when I saw them.
I'm actually iterating on the exception view a little bit right now. I'm trying to make it even like less to look at.
Yeah. Very cool though. I like that a lot.
So there is something that is also interesting at the very end of the command section on top of the notes.
Well, oh, I didn't know you could select. Well, I didn't know you could select multiple values.
I
The
think it
question
says
is, how
it.
can you? What's
Does-
that?
I think I documented which key. It should be Alt if you're in Windows. Yeah, you see at the
Oh.
very top. Selection, yeah.
Ah. Okay. So then I can do apply F. What can I apply to those?
You could do vector. You can add your own, yeah. I think you might have to select something. This might be like an edge case where I only look for it when you select. So
Chris, what would the
Oh, there
multiple
it is.
selection be on OS X?
I think it's command.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right there. Sorry, I just didn't see it in the README.
But did it work or no?
Huh. Let me see. So I did 2 and 1.
Yeah.
And then some of nums. Some of nums. Sounds like a good, cool Clojure band name. Huh. See that returned 1. Turn the first.
Try vector. I wonder if this is broken on yeah, see that's
No,
what
it
it
worked. Yeah.
I wonder if plus is I haven't tried this. Semantically it should work, but okay, something to look into.
Let me see. One. Now, looks like it's just because slash should do or should make it 1/2, right?
Yeah, yeah. There might be something wrong with like arithmetic, but the command I like to use is the diff command though. Because that's like usually my use case is like I'll have this map and that map and then I'll diff them.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and it's deep diff. Of course it is.
Why
Oh,
implement
that's cool.
when someone else has implemented it for me?
I think deep diff is 98% of the reason I use Clojure for my test runner. Like, I mean, it the watch and there's a lot of cool things too, but the
Yeah.
fact that it shows me that diff with the little inline stuff, like
Yeah, I'll
that's-
use this
that's the way it should be.
a lot when I'm like doing like UI development and I have my state and I'll like tap my state. I'll do some things. I'll tap my state and then I'll select both of them and then diff them.
Hmm. Is there a keyboardal way of selecting multiple, or you just do
Not
it?
yet. There's an issue that somebody has on. I'm not sure exactly how I want to do it, but yeah. So right now, it's unfortunate that you do need the mouse. One day, maybe you won't.
Oh, interesting. You can kind of see a little bit of how the sausage is made by
Oh yeah,
selecting something and then pulling it back.
I think that's my serialization protocol. You're getting
Yeah.
a sneak peek at it.
That's cool. I mean, it's all data. It's just disclosure, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I was seeing this. Can use me navigate through history. Is this I can from my editor do that?
Oh no, but you can. There are shortcuts, right? There are shortcuts in the UI
In
that you
this
can
view.
use. It's like all the history commands, and there's the shortcuts around them.
Ah, yeah, control.
But the one that I like to use if I get too deep is I'll do like history first, which will take me all the way back to the root.
Ah, just press the gas pedal. Control shift. Of course, I only have two things in my history, so. That's cool. That's very cool. Trying to decide if it would be easier to find the portal window. For me, sometimes it's hard to find the reveal window.
Okay, so I don't know when you guys want to, or if you guys want to talk about future things, but there is something I'm working on to solve that exact problem. Because the VS Code people and the IntelliJ people are lucky because they have plugins that just embed in their editors. And
Yeah.
Reveal has stickers now, which makes things a little bit nicer. And I'm trying to do that for Portal.
Yeah, I remember really liking the idea of stickers. It was a little one of those like hard to get used to like Conjure moments, which was like every time you did something to something in a sticker, it made a new sticker. And so it would be nice if there was a sticker that was like a new reveal window or a new portal window, and it stuck. It didn't make new windows.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Can you like the nice thing is in reveal, because it's an OS level thing, it can make itself always on top.
Yeah, which is what you're alluding to. What I had to do, which is not use the native browser anymore, and I had to do something with Electron.
Ah,
but it works. It works.
Yeah.
So
no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Datafy and nav. I still have not fully I haven't really caught my wind with that yet, or whatever the right metaphor is. And
because if you're in Clojure land, you already have data, so you tend not to need data, right? Like I don't work with a ton of objects when I'm doing Clojure, right? I have maps, so it hasn't been as useful. And I think nav is interesting if you're dealing with a lot of relationships in your data, but usually my relationships are simple. Like a good way to illustrate this example is if you open up the demo version, or not the demo, but the web only version. So if you go to the top right of this repo, there's like a link.
Oh, yes, I saw it somewhere in here. I was reading, oh yeah, also be run as a standalone. And so it's just,
Yeah. So if you don't have it, if you don't want to, right now you have an editor connected version, but you can also run it standalone. You can open up files into it, and you can do like things with just static data as well. Or you could load the demo data, and I think that's interesting. So in here,
oh,
see the Hacker News example. So this is my example for how I do nav. So like start clicking on, or like, yeah, start like clicking on like show stories. And what do you think that'll do? Right. It's kind of like a
guessing these are
way to,
story IDs.
yeah, all the Hacker News story IDs. And take a look at the metadata really quickly. I think this is a really good use case for metadata. Or wait, actually, maybe I don't want to attach it. Try doing it one more time. Like, sorry, go in one level deeper. And then look at the metadata. There we go. I don't know why that one doesn't have it, but
Cool.
this is me telling you where this data came from, right? It came from that exact URL, right?
So double clicking on something will run nav on
Yep.
it. Which I don't know which one is which.
Yeah, and if nav isn't implemented, it just says, okay, well, we'll go, that'll be the selected thing. So it's kind of
Gotcha.
like a good default, I think.
I see.
You want to see
And
something
so
really?
this bit of metadata here, this is what makes it
Yes, exactly.
navigable.
Click on the timestamp or the instant really quickly, and then see what views are available.
Cool.
Very cool.
That's great.
Because then I can go here and do the same. It's in my data.
Yeah.
That's that.
I always want this one because I'm always just like, wait, I mean, timestamps are awesome, but so, like as a human, I need something that I can, look at. And
Yeah.
it's leveraging all the browser stuff for datetime. So this is like your time zone, I think too. It's adjusted for your time zone.
Does it also recognize millis and nanoseconds and like if
I don't know. Like in the way that I'm, oh no, the other types now it doesn't, unfortunately. It's just insts.
system get time, sorry. That really long one that I never remember the name.
It could though, if you wanted. There's no reason why a number can't just be converted to a time. You know what? I'll do it. Why not? Sure. That's easy.
I can go like java dot, is it time / dot instant of epoch milli.
Yeah.
Epoch seconds as well. Oh no, it is epoch milli. Because that'll come at, oops. That'll come through as an instant.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, but instance is not.
Yeah. Clojure did dates as their like format for ints, right? Like if you paste an inst, it's a date into Clojure at least.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, I don't want that. I want yeah, PRN, I guess.
What do you mean PRN?
No, not PRN, sorry. PRSTR. Oh, guess that's what I just did.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Close though.
Yeah. But so like right, this is like nav is nice if you want like you have relationships in your data, like you have tables like tabular data. I think nav is implemented by default for like some of the SQL libraries, right? Because you can turn IDs into and deref them yourself. And that's kind of what's like happening here is like as you're hitting IDs for saying that's interesting, but I can take you somewhere more interesting. And in fact, the username is interesting as well. because the the buy, if you double click that, it should take you to the user, because that doesn't.
Oh,
And if you look at created, that's when the user was created. And you can see how long ago this user account was. By the way, what you did there was you selected the string. And I was like, I did a thing where I was like, oh, if I could parse the string as a date time, treat it as a date time, sure, why not? But because you see that hash
oh,
inst.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
So,
there.
which is why I think I could do that for numbers too.
Oh, you just like it just try,
Yeah, it tries to coerce it. Worst case, throws an exception. Okay, I'll move on.
or you get like, if it's like 4, you get like 1970
Exactly.
January. For me, I get December for, because I'm 8 hours into the past.
Hmm. So that's how I think of nav.
Well, cool. No, that opens it up a little more. I think I think there are places that I would like to use Datafy and Nav, mostly in like browsing a database or browsing an API. Those seem like the readiest examples.
Yeah.
But so I'll have to look at how that's done, and see what, because metadata. So metadata is how Datafy powers Datafy and Nav.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But what you do is you keep returning data that has more metadata on it. That's the secret sauce, right? What's really cool about those protocols is that they'll work with all the viewers, whether it's Portal or Reveal or Rebel, right? It'll all continue to work, which is nice. There's some hiccup data in here that's also interesting.
Good old hiccup data. Oops. Hiccup data.
Right, it's a tree. But there's this cool thing that it's doing. It's not quite hiccup.
There you go.
Yeah.
Make the one that looked like the one that I recognized.
Yeah. I put in, actually I didn't put in preprint. My brother put in preprint recently because he was like, sometimes I just want to preprint something to see it. So I was like, okay, perfect. Let's do it. But wait, so do you see one of the,
sorry.
Yeah, one of the, so it's not quite hiccup. It's like a superset of hiccup. It's kind of cheating. There's divs, right? There's a div, there's an H1, there's an A tag, and then there's one more tag that looks a little different, doesn't it? That's not a real HTML tag.
Oh, good old namespaces.
Yeah, but did you see what it did when you rendered it as hiccup?
It puts the whole viewer right there inside.
Right, it's like a way of you doing layout with like portal views, if that makes sense.
I clicked on it and I thought it would open up into like a web browser that was embedded, but I guess you're already in a browser, so
Yeah,
that would be good.
Well, if you select the map node, if you select the map now, though, you're back in Portal land. So even though you went from like hiccup land, you're like back in Portal land, and you can use all the stuff in Portal land, like setting the viewer, or like pretty printing it, right?
Yeah.
So
Oops,
it's kind
that
of
one.
mind bending the recursion, but like, it makes sense. User tree.
But it's just inside. It's just a big data tree that just is getting you're the magic is taking it and putting all of the rendering at the right points. So
yeah,
you must have a very flexible component system.
yeah, I would say so.
Well, you do. Interesting.
Yeah, and then there's an interesting log viewer too. I use these for our logs.
Yeah. I was looking at, this is a lot more.
I love that instinct, right? You're just like, wait, what is the, I want to see this in a different way. Because so this is an example of another spec that I have, right? Where I have like, hey, logs tend to have these things. Okay, let me write a spec for it and I'll match it and then I'll render it this way instead.
What's that icon coming out of it?
Oh, the runtime.
Oh, the runtime. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wait, so I know this shape and I know that the runtime has a that's an interesting timestamp, isn't it? 15 years ago.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, you can't just pick, random times for these. You have to make them. Yeah.
It's an Easter egg.
It's definitely an Easter egg, yes. Inspector.
Oh, one of the things I haven't shown that we haven't stumbled upon is you can like collapse and expand things. Like inline.
Chris, can you explain how you did that with the, so converting that keyword to an icon? You've got like a custom renderer here, I guess, that's doing that?
Yeah, within the log viewer, I'm like, I know there's a runtime keyword, and I know for certain values of it, like the ones that you see in this table, I'll just put an SVG there, and I'll use the like theme to look up the color and apply it and put it in place.
Is that possible as a user to define not yet, because for this case, for logs, right, where I'm looking at certain sets of logs and there are designations in there, like things that like are of importance to me in my project, like that is a killer thing to be able to go in and like just convert that to an icon so I can see it visually real quick as I'm scanning through data. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think making things user configurable is it's like hard sometimes, especially in Clojure script land where like this is advanced compiled and like sneaking in code there is a bit hard. But I want to do that. Like that's the direction I'm heading in. So I'm glad that that's what you want, because that's what I also want to make it so you can do those things. Because so the reason why I did this is because we have at work our logs for our client and our server are kind of interwoven. Because we use the same exact like logging library template for both the client and the server, and they get interlaced, which is great in terms of time. But then it's nice to be able to see, oh, this came from the client, this came from the server, and then you can see like the order and what runtimes did what. So
yeah, that's great.
So if you go back really quickly, let me skip away this like secrets. If you go back to the inspector view, sorry.
Oh, hold on. I'll get there. Yes.
Okay, and then click on one of the log entries. So yes, there you go. Now click E, and then click E, and then click E.
Oh yeah.
And then wait, select the vector itself and click E. What do you think will happen? There's a toggle expand command is what I call it. But anything you, and again, so the like here. Okay, I need to fix the tree viewer. I'm sorry. It doesn't
no. I was trying it earlier with spacebar, because spacebar is my like toggle in my editor for folding.
Is it? Okay. I might try that shortcut as well, because I can have
I really just want to now figure out how to pipe my logs into this, like from not even Clojure, but just piping log data in here, because this is like the log viewer that I want.
Oh, now that you mentioned that, have you used Babashka at all? I mean, you don't have to use Babashka, but it makes it really easy. Nate, do you want to go to the examples directory in the portal repo?
Sorry, I'm having too much fun. Yes, the example. Yes.
Yeah.
Should I clone it? Is that?
No. I just want to show the code really quickly, because I feel like this is maybe exactly what you want, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm got the tingles over here.
So go into the parse and tap file really quickly. So can we tell what this does? Right, it'll pull in the dependency. It'll pull in the API, it'll open up a window, it'll add a shutdown hook, and it'll just do do seek over a line seek of standard in, right? And it's
Yeah.
an assumption.
We have we do all of our logs are JSON.
Yeah.
So I can pipe this through Jet and then write to this, and the logs go straight into and then my web browser will crash because I have to I have too many
Yeah.
logs.
I think this is what I'm looking for. I'm going to try this out tomorrow. This looks awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and
This is
what's
definitely
what's really nice about this is if you use it with Babashka, you can literally just take this one script, make it executable, and run it, and just pipe JSON to it. New line delimited JSON. It should just work.
Oh yeah, Jason. Nice.
Right. And if it's not JSON, you can like, this is a script that you can just, maybe it's YAML. I don't know why you'd have YAML logs, but maybe
Line oriented YAML. Yeah, that sounds like a fun job.
No, actually, we log in CSV. So
Yeah. So
what's really interesting though is because you're driving. Like sometimes in our logs, they're not perfectly formatted. Like we'll just have like a random thing that's not JSON. So you just in your exception say, take that string and put it in a map that has a message, because the rest of my maps will have message, so that they'll kind of play nicely.
mm-hmm.
So
yeah, perfect.
Let me see. Speaking of exceptions, EX data.
are you trying to make an EX info?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I don't. Yeah, get those fixed. I always get those mixed up.
Yeah, same. I still get.
I still want to right click.
You know what? That's a good point. Why can't you right click? You know what? If your instinct is to right click. Oh,
I think it's because I mean, yeah, like a lot of UIs, you know, you right click. Oh, do we lose the rub?
Oh, looks like he just.
He had to depart. We are getting close. Can we go?
So, what do you think's happening here? This is kind of related to the Atom thing, in that you're like, you have the exception object. From the perspective of Portal, the exception object is opaque. This is one of the few cases where you want to datafy it, unfortunately, because like, right, this isn't data. This is an exception object that can be datafied. So
I see.
you can either datafy it before you tap it, or you can datafy it after you tap it, right? Because like there's like this duality, right, between objects and data, where you can generate data from objects, but technically they're like separate things, kind of like atoms. And yeah, it's weird.
Gotcha. So now that's it's just the EX info. No,
Yeah,
it's like the exception info. It's not EX info, because that's sorry, EX data.
Yeah. If you go back to the viewer, you can get the data. You just have to, I don't know why the default exception viewer doesn't have a way to get to the data, but if you do like V to get the viewers and then do inspector, it should be there. I need to add a section for the data, that because I know Clojure exceptions have a data section.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And it's just
In all
data.
its glory. Yeah. Making sure I can still do my ink. Yeah, I think just the I really appreciate the not having everything be control whatever. Like coming from Vim, like I'm used to just bare keys having functionality. So like V, that's very nice because then it's not a whole lot of chording. I mean, not that that's bad. It's nice because it's one fewer key to press. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, would for the command palette right now, there's two shortcuts, Control J and Command Shift P. Would you expect like colon to be one of them? Kind of like how you do that for Vim for opening up the
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I would probably do. Yeah, colon for Vim, or it's just escape, but escape probably does other things.
Yeah, we'll try it. Like click on something and then click escape.
Yeah, it deselects.
Yeah. That's like one of the things is what you have selected is really important. Whether it's you're dereffing something or you're searching something, you're applying a command or something. So.
Oh, colon would be wonderful.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah. That I just did it right now, just like my.
I mean, you might wake up tomorrow and who knows what will happen.
Well, cool. I think are there any other things? We're getting close to the end of our time. Any other like can't miss?
Oh, there is one, but it's kind of harder to do because there's not Vim integration, but there's a go-to definition like function. And it's based on
go-to definition. Oh, like go to. Huh. Okay. What do you mean?
Okay, so a lot of or sometimes data contains like 3 critical pieces: a file, a line, and a column. And if it does, why can't I go there? So one of the things I have set up, and it's in Portal itself, but if you select something that like is go toolable, so a good example would be a var. You should tap out a var really quickly.
Like if I just tap.
It has to be the var though, right? Because the var is what has the metadata for navigation. And if you like,
yeah, and it's colorful too.
Yeah, and you do Control J, and you do go to. This won't work for you though because you're in Vim. But in like for me, for Emacs or for VS Code or for IntelliJ, it'll open up the like do metadata on that, like do meta. So Control J meta. Right, it'll take you there.
Ooh, that's cool.
Right, because I'm like I have the things.
Yeah, I would. It'd be interesting to see how we could make it. Because is it because that they're embedded in the editor so that they can communicate with the editor, or
so it depends on the editor.
Back?
For IntelliJ, yes, it's because it's embedded. For VS Code, I think I call the command line VS Code from the JVM. So this is if you look at the command again, it's JVM specific because it's implemented with like JVM stuff. But yeah, for Emacs, I'm calling just the command line client. Does Vim have a way to do it remotely? I know new Vim 8 has like stuff where you can do remote calls, but if there's just a way to say, hey, Vim, open up file line, whatever, then it should work. But what's really cool is that this works for anything that can resolve to those 3 pieces of information, including log statements. It's like this go-to works for logs as well. But those logs are like maps that you generate. So
so if it just has like this, like a line. Oh, there's no. Oh, yeah. Form, I guess.
No. So you would need a file or like a namespace. That's another thing is if you have a namespace, then I can try to look up relative to the class path where that namespace file is. But yeah, that's one of the last cool things. You can't really demo, but that's fine.
No, it's definitely GD. There we go. That's the Vim.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny that of all the people I know that use Emacs, almost all of them use the VI keybind, like the Vim mindset. It's just they have the power of all of the Emacs, because the Emacs has a lot of really, really good features.
Yeah.
It's tempted me a couple times, but
yeah,
NeoVim kept me in the camp.
Yeah, especially with Clojure. Clojure's really nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Chris, for helping us out. That was very cool. I think I will try using Portal now.
Yeah.
And I will be giving you feedback.
Okay,
Or-
perfect. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, +1, Chris. Thank you so much for joining. It was great to have you here, and this is really, really cool to see. And I got a log viewer takeaway as a takeaway, so I'm stoked.
That's cool. Awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I enjoyed it. I'm glad I crashed the party.
Yeah, made the party better. Cool. Okay. Well, then I guess we will see everyone next time. As a possible thing, one of my tabs that I happen to have open because there's been a lot of activity on it lately is BIF. Might be fun to go look at the BIF documentation and try to spin up one of those sample projects because it's like a Firebase replacement, but it uses XTDB. So, and we did a bunch of XTDB stuff a little bit ago. So that might be a fun one to look through. So
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
but this whole go through a project together, I think has been hugely beneficial to me. So, and I think to more people. So it's been very cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for driving, Nate. Great as always.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun. Thanks. Thank you. And we'll see you next month. Have a good March.
Okay. See ya.
Bye, Chris. Thanks.
Yeah.